it is because the science is just so new. It's new, but at the same time it validates some of the inconsistencies that people have been getting as far as the effect of soy and soy protein. We were talking about cholesterol. You know, the cholesterol, lunasin is the active ingredient in soy protein that's responsible for cholesterol lowering. That's a given. I mean, people are impressed with that. But even beyond that, because most of the research on lunasin is actually on cancer, right? And there's a lot of research done by other universities, other research institutions, and it validated the original hypothesis that I came up with way back in 1996, that this peptide that I isolated in soybean seeds actually has the potential to have all these health benefits. And as a result, just this week, I met with a couple of big-time researchers at UC Davis. One is the department chair, the chairman of the Department of Nutrition at UC Davis. And they're doing a lot of clinical research on food ingredients, including isoflavones from soy. But they're sort of frustrated with some of the results that they're getting. And they couldn't explain some of the results either, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that's usually the case with some of the soy research now. And when I talked to them about Lunasin, just last Wednesday, they were all over it. I mean, they wanted to collaborate with me. They were so excited to meet with me that actually we're going to meet again next week. And they want me to test some of the samples that they were using in their experiments, because they think it's the lunasin that's causing the effect, the health effects that they're observing. So I said, well, yeah, I'll take those with me. I'm going to Missouri next week, so I'll just come by and pick the samples, and we'll test it for you for free. But the objective really is to collaborate. They want me to collaborate with them to test all these health benefits, because there's so much effects that we have to really test. And as a scientist, you know, it's okay to get those testimonials, but we really have to verify and validate those results. And they're willing to do that for us, okay? And you know, this is going to be a very good collaboration, because not only with the Department of Nutrition, because there's also the Western Human Nutrition Center, that is a U.S. Department of Agriculture institution. And that's the only one here in the Western United States, Western Human Nutrition Center. And I'm already collaborating with a researcher there. And the reason why I'm collaborating with her is when I was at UC Davis, she heard about my research where I've identified that lunasin is mimicking a tumor suppressor that's found in humans. You know what the tumor suppressor is? It suppresses tumors. It prevents tumor formation, so essentially it prevents cancer. And lunasin is mimicking the effect of a human tumor suppressor. And she said that this is the first research that shows a dietary ingredient that mimics a known human tumor suppressor. That's totally unprecedented. And since I was leaving Davis at that time, she said she wants to continue that part of the research. And when you talk about researchers like that, they're hardcore scientists, I mean, molecular biologists. They literally do experiments where you know, at the end of the day, when they're done with the research, you're absolutely sure whether it is or not. And so far, we're finishing up the experiments, by the way. Hopefully within the next 2 months, we'll get the publication out, or get it submitted for publication. But this is the first indication of the dietary ingredient. You're not talking about curcumin or any of this thing, all these other potential anti-cancer ingredients from food, but soy, lunasin, mimicking a human tumor suppressor. That's totally unprecedented. And that's in collaboration with the Human Nutrition Center up in Davis, which is a USDA institution. And then just yesterday, I met with the director of the UC Davis Cancer Center. The UC Davis Cancer Center, the chairman or the director, his name is Dr. Rolf DeVere-White. And he's been interested in Lunasin even way back when I was at UC Davis because of the novel mechanism of action, right? But we never really got to do some animal experiments. Part of it is because at that time we were using this synthetic Lunasin, pure Lunasin. And when you use that, you can't really use it for human consumption because it just degrades and the bioactivity gets lost. And so until we were able to develop a Lunasin, a Lunarich X, which is something that you can take in and still make it bioavailable inside the system, that's when now they're interested in doing research with us. And our talks yesterday was on clinical trials. Clinical trials of essentially Lunarich X.
Wow.
And the reason why they're very excited about it is because I told them about the meeting I had. I actually I had a webinar with a group of pediatric oncologists at the Walter Reed General Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, including their nutritionist. Actually, their nutritionist was the one who recommended that these pediatric oncologists talk to me, and I give a presentation. And the reason why they asked me for this is because they were observing tremendous improvement in their patients. These are kids with cancer, pediatric oncologists. And they can't understand why it's doing that, or at least with the supplements that they were getting. So what is this Lunasin? Why are they getting all these health benefits? Of course, they go to the internet and whatnot, and part of, I think, my Facebook page, they look at it. But it's difficult to understand it without really the background, so they wanted to talk to me about it. And they were sort of impressed. Sort of, but they said, well, you know what, we can't really prescribe or, give recommendations until you actually do clinical trials on it. And I agree, that's the only way we can really provide it. Besides, if you're talking about cancer, FDA won't approve anything on a cancer claim. Even if you say cancer preventive, you really have to have a rigorous clinical trials on this. And so that's what they suggested. And then, of course, all these doctors from people who were getting all these health benefits associated with Lunarich X and the Reliv Lunarich soy powders. And in fact, I think I have another meeting, next week with another oncologist in the Bay Area. So there are a lot of people, it's not it's just the medical establishment, are suddenly starting to notice about Lunarich, and it's because their patients are getting better. They somehow need to learn more about this because it's helping the patients, and that's the bottom line for these doctors. They want to provide the best care for their patients, and if Lunasin is giving them that benefit, we need to study more about it. So I went to Dr. DeVere-White's office yesterday, and he was so glad. I was like, thank you for remembering us. Because, I used to work with, he used to come to our Center for Nutritional Genomics when he learned about Lunasin about 5 years ago. And so, it never really materialized because we didn't get a renewal for our funding for the center. But after I talked to him yesterday, he was so glad that we're sort of revisiting this, and the fact that we've already produced a product that makes Lunasin more bioavailable. And then just to finish my talk here and how excited I am about Lunasin right now. Director of the National Institutes of Health, NIH, the top institution in the country that deals with our health. One of the directors, the director of the Minority Health and Health Disparities, just last month, he emailed me and he said, "Fred, I want to nominate you for one of the outstanding alumni for the University of the Philippines, where I graduated." He's also from University of the Philippines. And this guy is the director of the National Institute of Health. And to me, I was like, whoa. Well, ironically, he's the one who actually rejected the renewal of our center's grant. But he's aware of my research. And in fact, I think that's one of the reasons why he rejected our center, because the center didn't emphasize epigenetics. They were still emphasizing the old, gene disease paradigm. But he's aware of my research, and I have a couple of pilot grants through the center where they actually approved the grant. So anyway, that's one thing that I wanted to pursue with the Center for with the Missouri Plant Science Center, is to expand on nutritional epigenomics, because they realized, that means the National Institutes of Health, despite the fact that 90% of the research grant is still based on the gene disease paradigm, that 10% is now realizing epigenetics is the way to go, as far as health. So, for the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to take off. And you guys, it's still in that, sometimes we call it an inflection point when it goes up. It's still in that early phase. And that's when you get it. Because by the time it shoots up, that's when everybody is happy. Okay? So you're in the right place at the right time right now.